How are you, everyone? Today I will discuss some quiz questions regarding Primavera P6 project management. The first question is given to you. First of all, I'm engineer Muhammad Walid. Okay. The question number one is the percent complete type that is used when duration of activity is not proportional to the progress of activity. It means that what does this mean? That when you actually start the work at the site, that normally recommend that physical percent complete, and that physical percent complete is normally included into the progress. Okay, into the progress side. So once your labor is unskilled or there are different factors what the FIDEC asks due to failure of drawings or due to the failure of test fail by the contractor or due to not issue the IPCs, that is interim payment certificate at the site, then you should have to slow your progress. But once your duration of activity is not proportional to the progress of the activity, then what type of effect that is and how we can and what type of percent complete type it will be. Remember that in this case, the percent complete type will be considered as the physical percent complete. Okay, it means that you are working at the site and you are considered as the physical percent complete. And if you are watching at the progress, because the progress is always noted at the site. Other is in reviewing a resource allocation. If you are wanted and if you are going to resource the allocation, if you have over allocated the resources, the first of all, the over allocation of the resource is always find out into the resource usage profile. This factor is called the resource usage profile. Must remember that once you over allocate the resources, then there are actually three functions that how you can uh, apply. The first method is how you can apply the you should keep the activities into the normal track. Normal track means that, for example, you have hired excavation of labors, you are gonna be hired the excavation of labors, and your company assign and total give you 3 labors for it. Then after the excavation, there is, for example, in villa 1 the excavation is gonna started, and then the other excavation has been started in the villa 2. Then definitely, if this excavation and this activity has been started, then you can't utilize these 3 resources at the both activity in the same time. Then definitely you have to, what actually the thing you have to give here, you have to always give here the finish to start, like you have to start the project on normal track. But once you see that your project is not on the normal track, then what type of function that is normally you have to utilize there, and what is the important function? Always remember that hunt for the activity having total float is in positive. It is only total float, but always hunt for the activity having total float is in positive. Why positive? Because uh, if you will increase the number of days, then definitely you have a completely margin from the resources side. For example, if one resource have a 3 days and then you gonna complete this work and you want to other work complete in 1 day, then definitely you will not utilize these 3 resources at the same time in other resource. Okay, so for this purpose, if you will increase these number of days like 2, 3, and 4, for this function, you have to always find the resources having total float is positive. Okay, so your float is not effect. The other one is the what is the hierarchical structure of projects planning in Primavera P6? Remember that it is asking you hierarchical structure of projects. Okay, it is not asking you hierarchical structure of WBS. It is not asking you the hierarchical structure of anyone else like OBS. It is asking you what is the hierarchical structure of the projects. The hierarchical structure of the projects in Primavera P6 is always referred to the enterprise project structure, that is EPS. Okay. Other is what is actually, which document do you need to make a project schedule, and one more factor is that how you can find the number of days, and what actually the project management or project manager is always refer to find out the number of days for the project. The project manager always refer the person, always refer the person, okay, for calculating the days of the project, for calculating the days of the project who is going to do the estimate of work, who is going to do the estimate of work. It means that your QS, your project manager, is always refer the person for the finding the number of days for the project who is always going to do the estimate of work. Whereas how you can find your project schedule, this is also the interview question. For the project schedule, you always refer for the quantity multiply with the productivity. Okay, so by using your quantity and the productivity sheets, you can also utilize your project schedule. Whereas for the project schedule, what type of documents you need? You need contract agreement. Why contract agreement? So you should know the exact date of finish date of the contract agreement, that at which date you have to deliver or you have to give your project to your any of the stakeholder, the technical specifications for the project, and the project plans or drawings. Definitely if you don't have a project plans, then definitely you have to follow the drawings for taking the activities. Bill of quantities. This bill of quantities you will definitely take for the resources for taking your cost that is normally occurring on the project, because project schedule, there are two functions in the project schedule that is majorly used, that is drawings and that is bill of quantities and the contract agreement. These three things is very much important to use for the project schedule. If you come down, what is actually the activities will have a negative float? Activities will have a negative float when must finish date is later than planned finish date. It means that when you ask that you have a project, that you have to project and you have to finish your project at the given date, like I ask that I have to finish my project at 30th of December. Okay, it means that it is later than planned finish date. Like once you uh, if your planned finish date, for example, up to 30th of December, okay, if your plan to finish is 30th of December, but your must finish date means that it have to finish on 10th of January, then it means that still you have a 10 days relaxation, you have a positive float. Okay, it does not refer to the negative float. What is the other condition? The other condition is that the planned must finish date is earlier than planned finish date. It means that if your planned finish date, for example, we will take the same example. If we will, our planned finish date is 10th of January, but our must finish date is earlier. It means that it is 30th of December we have to give the project. It means that at the 30th of December we have to give the project to our client, but today its date is 10th of January, so it is very difficult to attain that. So it means that we are in negative, so this condition is very nearly satisfied. Let's go for the others. Planned finish date is later than must finish date. It means that your planned finish date uh, is later than, again it is the same concept but actually I have discussed here. And planned finish date is earlier than must finish date. It means that your planned finish date is earlier. Okay, when you are going to plan your project, and but it is earlier, again it is the same example but the wording has been different. These two example has been the same. Like your planned finish date is earlier, like your planned finish date is 30th of December, then your must finish date is up to 20th of January, and again you are 20 days or 21 days you are ahead. It means that is not also refer the negative float. So which condition is satisfied? This condition is satisfied that must finish date is earlier than planned finish date. So this condition is mostly satisfied. What is the type of activity which calculate its start and end dates while incorporate availability of resources? Okay. If you have not incorporating availability of the resources, okay, and you are not going on the calendar, then what type of resources it will be? It is the resource dependent activity that is normally referred on. Now what is the other function? Other function is that what is actually, if you refer to the activity like you are watching here, uh, relationship type in which the finish of activity controls start of another activity. It means that when one's activity got finished and the other got started, that controls the start. Okay, it is simple, it is fs activity. Which of the following contains a complete copy of the project to be used as a backup for analyzing progress? Okay, remember that for the a backup of the project, how we can use the backup of the project? The backup of the project means that we always refer the baseline for the uh, backup of the project. Without the baseline we cannot assign the progress, like either we are going ahead, either we are going behind from the schedule. And why, and what is the function of the baseline, why we use the baseline? Okay, let me discuss one thing, that why we use the baseline. Let me explain you. Sorry, there is one more thing that is normally occurred here. I have discussed here some points that what is actually baseline. Remember that once you discuss about the baseline, okay, like first of all, why actually and what is the best method to assign and discuss the baseline for it. Okay, like a project baseline, okay, a project baseline is the initial plan you to establish together with your stakeholders, and it includes the project expectations, timelines, and deliverables. It means that when actually your project will delivers, what is the expectation of the project and when it will be delivered. Okay, in other words, it is a starting point of your project plan. Simple is that it is normally ensured that everything in the project is on track or not. Okay, it means that it's normally included your cost, your schedule, and your scope. So your baseline is normally tell you about the expectation, timeline, deliverables. It means that at every point of the project it is tell you and help you about it. So make sure that baseline is actually used for it. If someone asks you like how to measure the progress of the project, okay, if I show you one more thing here, like let me find one thing, cost control, and that's normally hidden here. No, it is not here. What is your plan to need to develop how much milestone? Yes, this one. So how you can kickstart your meeting without much hassle while measuring the monitor its performance? It means that if you want to monitor your performance and you want that it is not much hassle to measuring and monitor its performance, then what you will do? Okay, then what you will do, it is again refer that with a project baseline. Okay, because it is a critical component of the project management. Okay, why it is a, why it is a critical component? Because the baseline means that it is actually the first meeting you establish your project, where you discuss your expectations, timelines, and different deliverables. Okay, so it is also tell you to ensure the track of the project, and also it is tell you that either your project is on track or not. What is other one? Other one is about the task dependent. What is task dependent? Task dependent means that your calendar, because your calendar is always referred to the task dependent, okay. A mason's resources in Primavera P6 is created with default unit per time. Okay, it means that if in masons in your calendar has been assigned as the 8 hours per day, then it is assigned to an activity which has a duration of 10 days. Budgeted units of masons on this activity will be what? Definitely when your 8 hour per day is working days and your labor is work for 10 days, then you can write here 8 cross 10, then total 80 hours per day your labor can be work. So you should have to write this one. If your concept is clear, you can assign and achieve any kind of hazard or occurred in your project. What is the other thing? A graph created in Primavera P6 showing the time on horizontal axis and cumulative cost on the vertical axis is called what? Okay, this is called actually a resource usage profile, productivity chart, or cost S curve. It is cost S curve because in the productivity chart it is show you that how much your one labor can work in one day. What is productivity chart? It is tell you that how much one labor can work in a day. Like if you ask that your one labor can achieve 300 bricks or 800 bricks in one day, that normally one labor can easily achieve this criteria. So what is actually the productivity? The productivity means the same, like how much actually your labor can assign such type of bricks in one day. So it is normally referred to the cost S curve. It is referred to the cost S curve, like it is tell you about the cumulative. Okay, what is actually S curve? There is actually three graphs in the S curve. Okay, the first one is tell you about the budgeted total cost, and the other one is in the green. It is tell you about the remaining cost, and the third one is actually in the blue color. It is tell you about your how much your actual cost, what to actually give your labor. So these three things is normally covered in the S curve. And this horizontal axis, okay, you are watching this horizontal axis and the cumulative cost of the vertical axis, it will tell you the vertically. Okay, then what is actually this one is the cost S curve, and it is normally used in the histogram as well. Okay, what is actually the other thing? Okay, so these are the 10 important questions, very much important questions for the P6. Okay, so let me discuss the other, like why the thing, and why actually how do you define the critical path here? The longest path and the minimum path are the time required to complete the project. It's called longest path, and a combination of activities with total float as zero are included all. It means that having all activities with float is zero is called longest path, while there is other path that is shortest path, okay, that is included into the non CPM. Other is one, uh like why we need, normally why we need the project control, and why we have to require the project planning. Remember that the project planning in the scheduling, why we need the scheduling? We need the scheduling in order to plan the project, monitor the project, and deliver the project, and to mitigate the risk that normally affect on our cost and our schedule. Okay, what is project control? In the project control, actually in Primavera P6, we normally use and we normally control our whole project. The project control are processes used to understand and influence the time and money spent on the project. It means that it is actually those processes which is normally used to understand and influence that time or money that we normally spend on the project. We normally start from the scheduling, then we submit the schedule, or we will give the schedule to our project manager. Once your project manager approve that project, he will give to consultancy. Once the consultancy uh, uh, provide any objection on the project, then he directly put back to our schedule and we have to revise it. With the schedule, you have to hire the resources with the proper method like quantity per productivity. Then we have to revert the risk. Then you have to revert the change and what is the performance of the each of every activity and the performance. How we can measure the performance? You can measure the performance with the progress line. Okay. The progress line, why progress line is used? The progress line is used, it is tell you either you are behind schedule or ahead of schedule, and it will help you a lot into such type of activities. Okay, so these are the important question. I will also discuss some other important questions like SPI, like KPI, like EVM with different resources. Okay, so thank you very much for a while, and any question you can write in the comment box. Okay, so I can give you the answer. Thank you.